This could be us.
So back to what I was saying.
Could be us.
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy Crooks 209, back at you guys again, but this time we are doing Crooks' Corner, where we break down high-level fights between high-level players, and today we are doing Martial Mind versus Pryoxis, the Jon Jones and Izzy fight that they both just dropped on their channel. As you guys can see, we are using Pryoxis' footage, so shout out to him for making it available for me. And the first thing I want you guys to notice is Pry's face. Look at his face. This boy is locked in going up against Martial Mind. He knew how hard of a matchup this was going to be. But if you look at the fight, Martial's already trying to crack off those leg kicks, trying to keep Pry at distance. He's doing a good job so far, but Pry is trying to regain the middle of that octagon. He does a good job sidestepping right there. But Pry is going to try to, I would imagine he's going to try to work Martial's legs. Because when I fought Martial Mind in our fight, Martial really doesn't like to switch into southpaw, especially with somebody the likes of Jon Jones. And Jon Jones only has an 88 leg health. So you see Pry already going to work on those legs. He's cracking off combinations as well. He catches that body teep kick, which is super important because Martial is going to try to keep that distance with Jon Jones. Now, the interesting part in this matchup was going to be to see if Martial Mind could somehow stagger enough offense against Pryoxis, because Pry's Israel Adesanya is better in the striking category, and unless Martial was really going to grapple, I felt he would have a little bit of a harder time in this matchup. So Pry's doing a good job of working the leg health. You see it's already starting to go down, but Martial is in the middle of the octagon. He's getting these teep kicks checked, so I would imagine he's going to stop throwing them as frequently as he has. But he's popping out that jab. He's pressing forward. He's trying to back Pry up a little bit. Pry's doing a good job of catching these teep kicks again. And really, look at what Pry's doing. He's really just taking the time to really get a read on what Martial's doing. He's not really trying to slip off too early. He's letting the jabs hit his block because he knows Jon Jones is not a good boxer. You can't just stand in the pocket with him and unload combinations. So he's doing a good job of just staying patient. And he's working those legs. There's a beautiful combination to a side kick by Martial, though. So Martial's getting a good read on Pry, too, but he gets hit with that jumping knee. That's something that I do not think Martial Mind expected somebody like Pryoxis to do, because Pry doesn't really throw heavy, like spectacular strikes like that. So he was able to get that rock off, and he's doing a good job so far in this round. Now we see Martial here. He's trying to press the pace and get a little bit of that damage back. But he needs to be careful because he gets caught with that front kick. Good leg kick right there by Pryoxis as well. Martial's committing on combinations, trying to put the pressure on. He gets hit with that spinning elbow by Pryoxis. Man, I think these strikes really caught Martial off guard because you don't really see Pry throwing these strikes out in his stream. He doesn't throw too many flashy strikes like that. So I think it just kind of caught Martial off guard. But he got good damage off. Martial's trying to gain that damage back. But it's going to be a struggle for Martial if it continues this way, because Jon Jones does not have fast strikes, which you would need against somebody like Israel Adesanya. So he has to really depend on Pry to make a mistake to get that damage back. And against somebody like Pry, as you can see, he's just going to stay patient and really take what you give him. He's doing a good job of giving Martial different looks and cracking at that leg. But Martial's pressing forward. He's doing a good job of applying pressure, letting Pry know that if he makes a mistake, Martial is there to take him out. Good lead roundhouse kick into a leg kick by Pry. I really like the way Pry utilized his leg kicks here in this first fight. He really made Martial respect him. Then he tried to go up high. There's a good calf kick. And Martial finally switches stances into southpaw, which I think is what Pry's main goal was in this first fight, was to see if Martial was going to check the leg kicks or not. And Martial switches into southpaw. And now he's cracking off those side kicks to try to gain that space just a little bit, trying to work the combinations to get that block down. He's applying pressure, but he's not really throwing too many knees and elbows except for right there. So he's not spamming them, which is good. We don't like to see that from high-level players, which is good on Martial's part, because a lot of people would try to immediately start switching to knee and elbow spamming somebody like Pry. But he's playing it legit, trying to break that block down a little bit. Pry's doing a good job of answering back, and he rocks him again for the 3rd time in this round. So Pry's doing a good job of mixing aggressiveness with passiveness, and then he rocks him again. That's the 4th time. Pry, for as focused as he looks, you would think he was down in this round, but he's really not. He's doing a beautiful job of staying patient and really taking what Marshall is giving him and mixing up the timing on the big strikes that he's throwing. Marshall's just kind of trying to reset, trying to pop some strikes out there, hoping to get the damage back, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen here in the 1st round. Good calf kick to end the 1st round by Pry. Dominant 1st round by Pryoxis there. I mean, he did things that I don't think Marshall really thought was going to come or even had any clue was coming. Was able to get some good rocks off as well as beautiful timing on that front kick as well. So let's see if Marshall adjusts here in this 2nd round. So here he's jab straight into the block. He's applying the pressure. He made Pry whiff on that calf kick. He didn't punish too heavy, which is something that not only Marshall needed to try to do, but Pryoxis needed to be aware of. Because if John Jones overhands you, I mean, as you guys seen in our fight, it's going to cause trouble. There, Pry gets another rock off of a beautiful time straight. And Pry's just really doing a great job of mixing up his timing. I was really super impressed by how patient and how well-timed a lot of Pry's strikes are. Now, I know he's known as a technical fighter, but still, it's still impressive what he's doing here. So there, Marshall was able to pop off that good front kick. He's gaining a little bit of momentum back, but he's trying to get some more damage in. But he knows that Pry can hurt him now. He's looking out for those flying those flying knees, I'm sorry, like he got hit with, as well as those spin elbows, so he's not committing to too many combinations. There, he hits him with a good side kick to press him back towards the fence, but Pry's doing a good job of circling laterally off the cage. There, he ducks that, hit Marshall, good elbow into a lead hook, does some solid damage to Pryoxis. Now, the one thing about Marshall Mind as well is he has a high fight IQ as well. So he knows, he's been in tons of these situations, how to deal with these, especially since John Jones is one of his more utilized players. So he is not out of this fight by any stretch of the imagination. He's trying to fire back. He's really just trying to solve the puzzle that Pryoxis really has put in front of him. It's a good calf kick, but good jab by Marshall. He's pressing forward to regain the center of that octagon. He ducks Pry straight, cracks a good jab straight off, lowers the block down, feints. He's giving Pry different looks. Beautiful calf kick right there by Pry. Now, Pry is the one that's being more aggressive, so now you would think Marshall would try to counter, but he presses forward to regain the center of the octagon. Good knee, though, right there. And really what I'm seeing is Marshall is being a lot more, he's opening himself up a lot more in this round than he did in the last round, which is what you want to do against somebody like Pryoxis. Pry, if you sit back and just let him pick his shots, he is going to just eat you alive all day. It's hard to find anybody else that does what Pry does. He's very, very good. He's very technical. But if you pressure him a little bit like Marshall is doing right here and mix up your combinations, you're going to tend to have a little bit more success because you're really throwing off his rhythm. So that's what Marshall is really trying to do right here. But with John Jones, that's a tough task to do. So he jabs straight in, tries to head kick him, but the block wasn't all the way broken. Pry's pressing forward to regain the middle of the octagon, gain a little bit of room for himself. Marshall switching in between orthodox and southpaw. Good side kick right there, gains him a little bit of space again. Pry's trying to catch him with that front kick like he did twice in that 1st round. So Marshall is doing a good job. He's making the right adjustments. It's just it might be a little bit too late because of the damage that he's already sustained to his legs and his head. So he tries to go with that elbow there. He misses on the calf kick, Pry does. So he needs to be aware of that, because if Marshall counters that, it's going to be a big, big problem, because then it'll start to spiral downhill, and then John Jones can put you out with a quickness. But here Marshall's doing a good job of just pressuring. Pry's firing back, keeping him off of him. He misses on another front kick. Marshall just jabbing into that block, misses on the elbow. Good jab uppercut by Pry right there, gets the stun. Mixes up, goes high, low, stays working that leg. Now, this is something that if you guys watched, not only in this fight, but in our fight as well, Marshall seems to he seems to struggle a little bit with leg kicks. It's something that I noticed, and not only in our fights, but in this fight as well. It might be something that is a little bit of a troublesome tendency for him. And Pry's really trying to exploit it right here. But Marshall's fighting back. He's utilizing that jab beautifully. He's mixing up the timing. He's throwing out front kicks as well. Pry's staying patient. I think he realizes that he has this round 2 again. He just needs not to overcommit and really waste all of that work that he did in this second round. But Marshall's breaking through the block. Good pullback by Pry into a beautifully timed leg kick right there. Good knee by Marshall. Double jabbing by Pry. Push kick. Now Marshall's trying to gain a little bit of damage, but he realizes that it's the end of the round. And that's going to be it for the second round. Now, what I noticed in this round was Marshall, like I said, opened himself up, but he started utilizing knees and elbows as well, which you need to do with Jon Jones, and he had a lot of success kneeing Pry to the body when Pry stayed stationary. So that's something that he's going to try to work at here in the second round, and Pry needs to be careful of, because if he moves off in a bad direction, he's going to catch a knee. So here Pry's pressing the pace, which is different than the second round. He's trying to dictate the tempo of the fight, but Marshall does a good job of side kicking him. There's that elbow again. He misses on the body shot. Pry goes with the uppercut straight, smartly. Tries to hit that calf kick, but whiffs. Marshall regained control here. Good straight by Pry right there, though. Stops him in his track. So Pry's going for those front kicks, and there was that knee again. Marshall is working that body. He's slowly but surely chipping at that body health of Pryoxis, and he needs to be aware of it. Now Pry's doing a good job of staying mobile. He's able to move off of that side kick, but he didn't get much damage off, unfortunately. Good calf kick right there. That leg starting to blink, so Marshall switches back into southpaw. Now, I like that read that Marshall just made right there previously. He hit the straight, and then he knew Pry had sidestepped the last side kick that he threw, so he feinted it, and then this time he actually threw it out. You want to get Pry to think. He did that to get Pry to think about what he's doing. So he's back in orthodox right here. It's a very tit-for-tat third round here so far. No, it's not going either one's way, but Pry is getting a little more damaging shots in because of that leg health. Tries to go with the T. Marshall blocks it. Double straight. Good jab straight by Pry. Breaks the block down. Good jab straight uppercut into a knee by Marshall right there. Now he hit him with a good 1-2 off of that kick. So Pry needs to be careful on whiffing these kicks. This is what I try to tell you guys all the time. If people whiff kicks, you will be made to pay with something big. Unfortunately, Marshall hasn't countered anything with anything heavy for himself. But it's only a matter of time before he makes that read. Here Pry's doing a good job of just jabbing to keep Marshall back. Marshall misses on that front kick. Good timing by Pry right there on the front kick. Knocks him down onto the cage. And that is the end of the fight. Perfect timing by Pryoxis right there to get that dub. And that's a hell of a first fight by Pryoxis. Now going into the second fight, we're going to see what kind of adjustments Marshall is going to make now that he knows that Pry had a leg kick heavy offense in the first fight. And it's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is going to be for Pry now that Marshall knows exactly what he's going to be trying to do to him. And I think it's going to make for a real intriguing second fight here in the next fight that we do have, because like I said, Marshall does have a high fight IQ as well. So here we are, guys. We are in the second fight, and as you guys can see, it's 4-3. So these guys have fought a lot, and they know each other very well. They're both high level players as well as great content creators. If you guys haven't checked out Marshall, make sure to go check out Marshall. If you guys haven't checked out the homie Pry, make sure you guys check out Pry. But here we start off the fight with a glove touch. We love to see it, and we are underway. Now, as you can see, Marshall's playing a little bit more cautious. He's backing up. He's letting Pry lead the dance a little bit. He's jabbing. He's trying to hit off that side kick. Good sidestep though by Pry. He knows it's coming. Marshall is using that knee already straight off the rip. He implemented that knee in the second round of the first fight, and he's already used it in this first round. Good side kick right there. Gains him a little bit of space. Good rip to the body by Pry. So far, it looks like Pryoxis is going to go more body heavy than leg heavy in this fight in particular, because he knows that Marshall is going to be blocking his legs. Good push kick by Pry. Gains him a little bit of space, and they trade it back. Good jab body hook. But Marshall tries to go with that knee, but Pry catches it smartly. So Pry's already on the reads, which is smart. So I like how Pry is circling off of the cage too. He's not just accepting the position when he's backing up, which is important for a lot of you guys that are newer to the game. Don't accept positions that you don't want to be in. If you're on the cage, circle off. Fight your way back. Fight your opponent back, or try to fight off by circling laterally and trying to cut an angle so that way you can escape. I really like that Pry's been doing that so far in these fights. Marshall's doing a good job of working the body teeps and the knees, more so than he did in the first fight, but he needs to be careful throwing those side steps as well, because Pry is, or those side kicks, I'm sorry, because Pry is sidestepping almost every single one now. Good major lunge gets Marshall out of the way. Good jab into the block. There's the side kick. Gains him some space. Good return right there by Pryoxis though in the pocket. Now, neither one of these guys really wants to stand in the pocket and fire against one another, because these guys are both pretty slow in terms of the fighters inside the pocket. So I don't think either one of them really wants to fight inside of there. So they're trying to gain a little bit of distance. Good side kick by Marshall, but Pry answers with a good combination of his own. But what I notice is a difference here in this fight in particular is that Pry is being a little more inefficient with his stamina. Normally, Pry is pretty efficient. He doesn't utilize too much stamina in the first two rounds, but I see already he's using quite a bit of stamina, and Marshall is cracking him to the body with those teep kicks as well as with those knees. So that's something that he needs to be aware of. Good sidestep though into a hook. Then try to go with the spinning back fist, but it doesn't land.
I'm not gonna be talking too much because I'm definitely locked in.
Pry tried to combo, but Marshall actually blocked it. You know, Pry's trying to answer back, trying to keep Marshall off of him. He's doing a good job of just throwing stuff out to make Marshall think. Trying to go with that question mark kick to the head to mix it up just a little bit. Good job by Marshall right there, cracking off. But he does get pull countered, and he didn't eat a lot of body damage, but he needs to be aware of that. So here Pry is letting himself get backed up, but he's circling off laterally. He's not accepting the fact that he's just on the cage. He's circling out, trying to cut an angle that Marshall can't cut. Good switch kick to the body right there off of that elbow. There's that flying knee, but Marshall was hip to it this time and actually blocked it, which means that he's learned that Pry is going to go for flashy strikes. Pry misses on that front kick. Good knee to the body as Marshall tried to plant, and he gained a little bit of space from it. He's feigning off. Now, when you see Pry start to do stuff like that, you see how he jabbed and then feinted to the body. When you see Pry start to feint, he's getting comfortable with the timing of the fight. And that's how you'll know if he's really feeling comfortable with what's going on. But so far, he hasn't thrown out a lot of feints. He's working the body of Marshall. He tried to go with that knee, but Marshall was hip to it and threw that straight beautifully. Now, what Marshall is really trying to do here is he's trying to push Pry back and just chip away at that block and that body health of Pryoxis, so that way the head will open itself up, which he's doing a good job of throwing these side kicks and those knees. That's like the 6th or 7th one he's landed on Pry's body so far, but Pry's getting good damage in as well. In the last 25 seconds of this fight, I'm interested to see, or of this first round, I'm sorry, I'm real interested to see what Marshall is going to try to do. So he tried to switch kick, but got knocked out of the animation. Good slip off right there by Pry. Jab, knee right there by Marshall. That stamina is real low on Pryoxis for it being the first round. And that's going to be the end of the first round. Now, Pry did a good job of getting high damage off on Marshall. He did land more shots, with less output, but Marshall did land some good shots to Pry's body and really drained his stamina down. So I think Marshall would be wise to continue the strategy, but try to be a little bit more defensive because the health stats aren't the best right now on himself. So here to start off the second round, he's jabbing, he's feinting to the body. Good uppercut by Pry, deters a body straight or a body jab or anything like that. But you can see Pry is not going to the legs hardly at all in this fight. He's just primarily sticking to body work and head work, but he's utilizing beautiful movement to keep out of the way of Marshall strikes. Good front kick by Marshall. Now you seen a little bit ago, Pry started that feigning and catches him with a good timed uppercut right there. Switch kick to the body, goes high low, doesn't just try to stay high like a lot of us would. We would just try to go straight to the head, but he works the body beautifully. And the Marshall's doing a good job of jabbing forward. Good knee right there, draining Pry's body health a little bit. Now he's doing the body teeps as well. Now look at what Marshall's doing. He's controlling the middle of the octagon. He's cracking Pry with the teeps as Pry gets close, and I think that's a great game plan to do against somebody like Pry. When you have him in the corner and he tries to get out, if he moves forward at you, push the teep kicks as well as the knees to stop him dead in his tracks. Pry's throwing the teep kicks of his own. Marshall's trying to mount a little bit of offense, but it might be few and far between, but he's getting good damage off. Utilizing that jab heavy like he did against me in my fight. Good head kick right there off of the catch of the kick. Good knee, drains Pry's stamina down. So better round for the Marshall in this second round. He's doing a good job of just touching Pry's body with heavy strikes. Every time he does, it drains like over 25% of Pry's stamina. So there he missed on the side kick, but he was trying to throw it out there. There's the knee, but Pry actually cracked out a straight, so it knocked Marshall out of the animation. Miss on the teep kick to the head or to the body. Pry made him pay with a nice timed front kick to the head. Now Pry's just gonna try to go to work just a little bit to try to get the damage off, but he resets instead, still getting the damage off as Marshall comes forward. Jab straight into that block. Good sidestep though by Pry. Cracks off that front kick again, trying to catch Marshall sleeping. Catches him with a good lead hook off of the sidestep of that side kick that Marshall threw. Marshall presses him up against the fence. Here he's going to get the turning takedown. This is the first grappling exchange that Pry has had to be in. And he goes for that cage reversal and is able to get it because Marshall Mind did not have any stamina at all after that takedown. So smart fight IQ by Pry. He gets up wisely because you do not want to be on the ground with John Jones when you are Israel Adesanya. Here we go. Pry is taking his time just a little bit. That body health is not looking the best. Marshall pull countered, elbowed him right there. Got his first rock of the fight right here. Pry feints the switch kick, which is smart because Marshall would have made him pay if he would have actually thrown that. So now it's going to be Marshall Mind taking over just a little bit in this round. He's got the rock off. He got a good pull counter elbow. He's jabbing that block. Good teep kick by Pry, though, into a side kick. Gains him a little bit of respect. But Marshall's probably feeling good right about at this point because he got that pull counter elbow. He's got the damage that he needs, and that body health is slowly but surely going down. But good adjustment by Pry. Goes with the lead body hook. Straight lead body hook. Good combination. Times that knee perfectly as Marshall was trying to get him with a body jab or a body straight. And here we are. We were in that ground and pound scenario, but Marshall actually survived. That is one of the best and most well-timed knees I have ever seen on UFC 4. That you couldn't have timed that any more perfectly. Let me tell you guys. So now Pry's gotten all that damage back. Look at Marshall's head health. It's real low. Their body health is about equal. So there Marshall shoots for the double leg into the side control right there. Gets Pry down. He's going to try to throw some elbows off. Good job recovering half guard right there by Pry. Marshall's trying to gain that GA by punching on the ground. Doing a good job.
only thing I'm worried about is
Just
the pocket
chipping away at Pry's body health and head health. Not too much, but just enough. He's able to get that GA back into side control. Tries to throw that elbow, but Pry's hip to it and transitions back to his half guard. Now it looks like Pry is just going to take the rest of this round off, which is smart. And that's the end of the second round. Now we kind of seen it go very back and forth in that second round. It was real close. Marshall got that pull counter elbow, but then Pry timed that beautiful knee as Marshall was trying to go down for a body shot, which is super smart to do. So now that could have really been anybody's round. So here in round 3, we're going to see how both of these guys really adjust. Good switch kick right there by Pry. He's starting to work the body just a little bit more as well. Good jab straight. He's being a little more aggressive in this round, trying to catch him with that front kick. Marshall's still popping out that jab heavy, which, if you guys know, I love. He hits him with a good takedown earlier in this round than he did in the last round. Price feigning off, gaining that GA, and he's able to get the sweep on Marshall Mind. Now, although Pry has Israel Adesanya and he is at a little bit of a disadvantage in terms of the grappling aspect, Pry is a high level grappler. He really is. He knows what he's doing on the ground. He knows how to work the GA system. You see him right there transition into half guard. So he's fine being down here if he needs to be. And Jon Jones only has a 90 off the back. He is not the best off of his back. So Pry's trying to take advantage of that and gain a little bit of control time for if this goes to a judge's decision. He's hitting Jon Jones' body, draining the body health, expecting Marshall to try to transition at some point, but he gets up before they time him out. So Marshall's back to popping off that jab. And that grappling exchange that just happened might discourage Marshall from trying to grapple again, because now he knows that Pry is very good on the ground with Israel Adesanya. Good pull counter into a rip by Pry, but I don't think Marshall's going to be trying to shoot too many more takedowns, if I'm being honest. Good well-timed knee again by Pry, and he's feinting off. Now you see Pry is starting to get a little more comfortable now. He's feigning. He's feeling himself. He denies that takedown, which is very crucial. If you let a Jon Jones player know, you're not going to let him take you down with Israel Adesanya. So I feel like the momentum is starting to swing in Pryoxis' favor. And Marshall's trying to do his best to gain the momentum back a little bit. He's working that body. And I'd like to see him work a little bit of kicks too as well. When he knows that Pry is going to slip off, crack that leg kick. Those are the most opportune times to throw leg kicks for damage, is when somebody is slipping off. Good front kick timing right there by Pry, gets him another rock. Now he's starting to eat away at that body health. And there's another shoot for a takedown right there for a double leg by Marshall. He gets denied again. Catches a couple knees to the head. But Pry needs to be careful of that stamina. That stamina was a really big problem in round 1. He wasted a lot of it, and Marshall's making him pay by going down to the body. Feigning off the straight. Good jab straight by Pry. Just trying to move off. Just trying to make Marshall whiff. But Marshall's staying right in his face. Letting him know we're still here. And even though we've got heavy damage accrued on us right here, we're going to try to get you back. But he does get rocked again. Switch kick to the body by Pry. Beautiful stuff. And there's a body rock, this is trouble. This is where Pry really excels. But he overextends and gets rocked. Now Marshall tried to shoot for a double leg, but he is able to get the takedown because the stamina was so low. Now, if you go back and re-watch that part right there where Pry overcommitted, watch his face. It is one of the most scared looks I have seen Pryoxis make, because he knew he overextended. And if Marshall had thrown an overhand or something like that, Pry would have been put to sleep. But we are here in another grappling exchange right here. Marshall's posturing up, but he doesn't have too much stamina to really be able to do significant damage to Pry. Pry's faking. Marshall's able to claim half guard right there. Pry, good denial from Marshall trying to go into side control. Pry tries to sweep him again, but Marshall's hip to it and is not having it. Gaining that GA, and he finally gets to side control. Now with 40 seconds left in this round, Marshall's going to try to do something big to regain all the damage that Pry did to him in this round. But Pry's doing a good job of just reclaiming half guard. Marshall's punching to gain that GA and chip away at that head and body health of Pry. But he's trying to advance. He's not just punching just to stall out. Good job by Pry right there, regaining the full guard. Marshall's punching to gain GA. And if you guys don't know what GA is, look at the top of, right above the clock right there where the meter is kind of going back and forth. That is the GA meter, and both of these guys know how to work it very, very well. But it looks like the end of the third round is going to be right here. So, man, the momentum shift was big at the end of that round. Look at Pry's face as he is doing commentary for his video. He knows how much trouble he really could have been in had Marshall really thrown something devastating like an overhand or a front kick. Pry would have been put to sleep. So he knows he narrowly escaped death right there in that round. But here at the beginning of the fourth round, Pry's body and head stats are looking very, very good. The health is looking great. Marshall's still trying to utilize that jab. Pry's doing a good job of feigning off. There's another beautiful takedown right there by Marshall. Now he's got him down with 4.5 minutes left. Let's see what he tries to do right here. Pry tries to regain the full guard, but Marshall's not having it. Marshall keeps going for that side control, so Pry just goes ahead and denies it and then takes backside right here. Now Marshall does get up off into a back clinch right there. Pry tries to go with that knee, but it doesn't land. Now, Marshall is down in this fight. He's down at least 3 rounds to 1. It might be 4-0, depending on how that last round really went. But he's down in this fight, so now he's going to get a little more urgent with his strikes because he knows that he's down, but he's going to try to stay patient to see what Pry does. There, he's able to block that switch kick into a rear hook, which is smart. Good jab. Good lead hook right there by Pry. Pry's not letting him press forward too much, though. He's letting him know, hey, even though I'm playing patient, I will put you to sleep if you come in here reckless. So good double jab into a straight right there by Marshall. Good body rip right there by Pry, and does it again. And then a beautifully timed knee as Marshall was trying to do something. Good spinning back kick, but it's blocked. Marshall's trying to time off that elbow. Good slip uppercut right there. Body rip by Pryoxis. Feints the switch kick, which is dangerous stuff. Pry's getting real tricky with it, as we would say. Good side kick right there by Marshall. Now Pry's doing a good job of just preventing Marshall from really coming forward and getting high damage. Marshall shoots for another takedown. Pry denies it. Pry's draining down his stamina. He's standing there to regain it. Marshall's trying not to get hit with that uppercut on the exit. Good job right there by Pry reversing the position and putting Marshall back up against the cage. Marshall circling out. Good jab right there. That block is starting to go down just little by little of Marshall. Jab straight head kick does not land. Good uppercut right there by Marshall. Pry needs to be careful because his stamina's low. And there's that spinning elbow by Marshall. Mind gets that rock off. Jab into the pocket right there. Now Pry needs to be careful because he has just gotten rocked. And if you guys don't know, when you have low stamina, even if you have high head health, if your stamina is low, you are more prone to being rocked. So Pry needs to be aware of that as this fight continues on. So here they're both just exchanging shots. They're both trying to gain that one, or trying to throw that one shot that's going to put each other out. And there's another beautiful rock right there by Marshall Mind. Now it seems to be that he's getting a little more comfortable with the timing of this fight. Both fighters have slowed down. Pry's output is not as heavy as it was in the first 2 rounds. Marshall has done a good job of working that body as well. There's another beautiful timed front kick for the 3rd rock of this round. And Marshall is starting to pick it up. Pry needs to be careful that he doesn't throw something that whiffs either a body kick or a leg kick or a mistimed strike, because Marshall is locked and loaded to get Pryoxis out of there. Tries to go with that head kick after the kick catch. Good jab into the block though by Pry. Now I want you guys to see what Pry is doing. He's not letting Marshall smother him. He's backing up. He's circling off laterally. He's not just moving straight forward. He's moving off laterally and trying to respond when he is presented with a counter. But Marshall's doing a way better job in this round than of any other round of getting Pry trying to punish Pry when Pry is doing something that is not really beneficial. But right there, he gets rocked. Tries to go with the flying knee. Pry's trying to get Marshall out of there, but he's not rushing it, which is smart. Because the more you rush it, the more there is a chance that you are going to get pull countered or something. Like right there, Pry went for a body kick. Marshall hit him with a spinning elbow for like what, the fourth rock of this round. Pry is in survival mode. Marshall tried to go with that spinning elbow again, but Pry did a good job of making him reset, which is really, really high level stuff, especially against somebody like Marshall Mine. Now with 10 seconds left, I would just imagine both of these guys are just going to try to take the next 5 seconds to really recover. Marshall got this round. Pry goes with the switch kick. Marshall catches it, and that's the end of the 4th round. Marshall had a great 4th round right there. He had 4 stuns in that 4th round and really drained Pryoxis' stamina real low. And you could see the sense of, not really of Pry being scared, because he's not scared, but he understands the situation. He understands that Marshall hurt him a lot in that round, and he showed him that he's going to try to put him out. Good timed roundhouse kick by Pry right there. Switch kick to the body, which he's done multiple times while Marshall's been rocked. Gets a body rock. Now here Pry's going to try to mix it up. He's feinting. Switch kick again. Marshall's body health and head health are going down, but he mistimes a strike and is made to pay again with that front kick. Tries to go with the jab straight head kick, but doesn't break through that block. Good knee right there by Marshall. Good knee again by Pry. They're starting to go back and forth in this 5th round. These guys are not wanting this to go to a judge's decision, let me tell you. These guys are trying to get each other out of here by any means necessary. Good lead hook right there by Marshall. Keeps Pry in place for just a second. Tries to go with that spinning elbow. Pry counters with the knee, which is smart. Now Pry is being the aggressor just a little bit because he wants to dictate the tempo of the fight. He doesn't want Marshall just coming forward and winging combinations at him. So he's staying in the middle of the octagon. He's feigning off strikes, making Marshall think. Good uppercut. He's feigning off. Marshall's not really throwing too much output because he knows the same thing. He knows that Pry is primed and ready to put him out if he makes a mistake. And with any missed strike in this round with this amount of stamina, one of them is going to sleep. So you can see Pry's locked in. He's looking for something. He's trying to set something up. Marshall's popping out that jab to keep that block low. Tries to go with the front kick, but it doesn't land. Good combination right there by Pry. Good stuff. Good pushback by Marshall. Now they're both just taking their time, not overcommitting. Good jab right there by Marshall Mind into an elbow. Good body rip right there by Pry though. And look at Marshall Mind's body health is ridiculously lower than Pry's. So he can be in real trouble at any time if he keeps taking these switch kicks to the body. But Pry doesn't have the best stamina. There's a well-timed front kick to the head. Gets him a knockdown. Now Marshall is scrambling at this point because I've been here and I know that every single fighter that is in the 5th round that knows they are down is scrambling to try to find an answer to get somebody out of here. But it's going to be tough to do with John Jones unless you're trying to hit a spin elbow like he's been trying to do, because John doesn't really have good boxing combinations, which is troublesome when you're going up against somebody like Pry. You need to be able to exchange with him. Good jab and good lead hook by Pry. Marshall's trying to crack that elbow. He misses on a big strike. He needs to be aware. Now they're both just throwing stuff into each other's blocks. Marshall fakes that kick, which could have put him in trouble. Good rear hook right there. Gets him a rock. Tries to go with the body knee, but the body health is actually really good right here. Tries to go with the elbow. Good jab lead hook. Breaks down Marshall's block. And look at Marshall's body health. It's blinking like a blinker when you get off the freeway. Pride has done some good body work in these last couple of rounds. So Marshall needs to be careful, but he's trying to press forward, trying to get that finish. Marshall's got heart for sure. That's one thing we cannot question. He has heart for days. Good straight right there, timing by Pry. Hits him to the body. Feints that switch kick, but gets caught with a straight. Good jab. Oh, Pry's doing big strikes. He needs to be careful, because if that sidestep, he's going to get put to sleep. Good counter right there, and it didn't give him any damage, which is kind of crazy. I hate when that happens to me, but hey, it is what it is in UFC 4. But it was a good read by Pry. Now here with this last minute, Marshall, I would imagine, is going to go with something big. He's going to try to get Pry out of there. But Pry's doing a good job of just firing back, staying in the middle of that octagon. Good slip off to avoid that elbow. Good jab by Marshall. Now these two are both gamers. There's a good knee, gets the body rock, goes down to the body again. High-low mix-up, slips off. Marshall misses on that flying knee. Pry is not there to make him pay for it yet. There's a well-timed straight, knocks him down. He's going to jump into his guard here. Pry's going to go for the finish, and he's going to be able to finish Marshall mind. It was crazy fights, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to slap that subscribe button and slap that like button, as well as go and follow both of these guys if you guys don't. They're awesome content creators, high-level fighters, as you guys seen. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to my breakdown, Crooks' Corner, on this fight. And until the next video, guys, take it easy, be safe, and thank you guys for stopping by again.